I'm Jim Merkel. I write books for Reedy Press, all about St. Louis. Great books. I'm excited about my latest book, Growing Up St. Louis, looking back through the decades. The books tell in their own words how more than 100 kids grew up in St. Louis since 1900. I personally interviewed almost all of them. They were black, white, rich, and poor, representing all kinds of people who lived here. They told wonderful stories, happy and sad. Their tales were not nostalgia, but the way kids actually lived. Together, these stories remind us of how much the way we are as adults depends on what we were as kids. With me today by Zoom is one of the people I interviewed. He is Kurt Walker, who grew up in University City in the 70s and 80s. Are you there, Kurt? Well, while Kurt's waiting, while we're trying to get a hold of, oh, there he is. Hey, Kurt.
How you doing?
Pretty good. Tell me about the neighborhood you lived in University City when you were growing up.
Yeah. University City is a great community. You have literally every, demographic in there, from economic to race to, you name it. And I was blessed to be raised on a block that reflected that quite well. And I'm able to say I had that experience where in the block that I was raised in, it definitely gave me some great exposure to different walks of life.
So I guess black, white, and and that was a pretty tough, pretty tense time. But was there tension there?
Yeah, I would imagine it was. As a kid, you don't realize it. You just play with whoever want to play. My family in particular had a lot of relationships with people of all cultural backgrounds, literally in our home and we in their home. And, even doing business together, my dad did, at a certain point over the years, and with people of different cultures and backgrounds. But
you
I didn't.
You talked about Mr. Linthicum, or?
Yeah, it was Mr. Linthicum. It's Jack Linthicum, my dad, and Jack back in the late 60s or the very beginning of the 70s, they started a business together, and families remain friends to this day. And when my dad passed away about 3 years ago, the Linthicums was at the funeral. So and that goes way back, to the time when we first moved to University City.
And there's also the Jewish friend by the name of Rosen.
Rosen, yeah. Rosen was he had a small business in his basement, and he sold clothing and shoes. It was pretty nice stuff, actually. Mm-hmm. And we bought from him. My mom bought from him very frequently. Matter of fact, his daughter, I believe, is still friends with my sister on Facebook to this day. That goes back quite a ways. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you'd never have that today. That kind of clothing operation. It would all be either big box or it would be Amazon.
Yeah. That's absolutely. Huh?
So I had said a statement earlier, which is kind of like a theme to my book. It says, together, these stories remind us how much the way we are as adults depends on what happened to us as kids. Yeah. So how did that apply?
I thank God for my parents. They taught us, in hindsight, they was teaching us to love everyone, to be accepting of people of all backgrounds. They were parents. Probably the big thing for me was that they had loving hearts. They had big hearts. They believed in strong relationships. So it didn't really matter. It just so happened that given the way that they were, a lot of people came into the mix to associate. And so by seeing all that take place, I saw a lot of people from all different walks of life. come around our family because my parents were so accepting and so loving. But at the time, you don't see yourself as a kid learning about those things. You just grow up and realize that that's what you became because of what you were exposed to.
Okay. Well, thanks a whole lot.
Yeah.
You have a good day. Stay safe, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Have a good one. Thank you.
Okay. Now, once again, you can buy Growing Up St. Louis wherever fine books are sold. You can get a copy with my autograph through my website, jimmerkelthewriter.com. That's jimmerkelthewriter.com. You have a good day and stay safe.